Good morning and welcome to the 2024 Harrisburg Police New Hire Swearing In and Award Ceremony. I'm Deputy Chief Kenneth Young and I will be your ceremony host for today. On behalf of the Honorable Wanda Williams, Mayor of the City of Harrisburg, and Commissioner Thomas Carter, I'd like to welcome you to the beautiful Whitaker Center. We will begin the ceremony with the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I request that all headgear be removed at this time, and if you're able to stand, we invite you to stand in rendering honors. We will now cite the Pledge of Allegiance. The flag of the United States of America is located in the center of the stage. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Pastor Lathrop, good morning, sir. Would you honor us with the invocation?
If you could all pray with me. Dear Lord, we thank you for getting us up this morning and for bringing us to this place. Thank you for each person being celebrated here today. Thank you for our heroic officers who serve us so well and for these new officers who've committed themselves to share in this service. We ask that you guide our time together, and we seek that you be glorified through all of your people here today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Please take your seats. Thank you, Pastor Lathrop, for those kind words. I'd like to introduce our city and police leadership present for the ceremony. The Honorable Wanda Williams, Mayor of the City of Harrisburg. Commissioner Thomas Carter, leader of the Harrisburg Bureau of Police. Captain Terry Whelan, commander of the Criminal Investigation Division. Captain Ata Akapo Martin, commander of the Uniform Patrol Division. Thomas McGarity, commander of Technical Services Division. Captain Russell Winder, commander of the Community Services Division. And Pastor Gary Lathrop. Pastor Lathrop serves as a leader of our Harrisburg Bureau of Police Chaplains and is currently serving as a pastor of the Community and Evangelical Free Church in Harrisburg. Thank you for being here, Gary. Thank you for what you do and the other police chaplains do for the officers and the citizens of Harrisburg. Good morning, everyone, again. Thank you for taking time out of your busy day to celebrate with the Harrisburg Bureau of Police for the award ceremony for incidents that occurred in 2023, the presentation of the 2023 Officer of the Year, and the swearing in of 4 new officers. The new officers will attend Harrisburg Area Community College to earn their Municipal Police Officers Education and Training Commission certification to become a Harrisburg police officer. At this time, I'd like to invite the Honorable Mayor of the City of Harrisburg, Mayor Williams, to the podium for her remarks.
Thank you, Deputy Young. And thank you for everyone for making it out this morning. Anyone who knows me knows it takes a lot to get me out the door early for a 9 o'clock start. I'm gonna have to talk to Deputy Young and Commissioner Carter. Now next year, don't start at 8 o'clock. But I will always make the time though, no matter when, no matter where, for Harrisburg's men and women in uniform. Let's just give them a hand. But that's just me being honest. And so is this. Being a Harrisburg police officer is one of the toughest, most thankless jobs in the city. But it is arguably the most important. To the 4 cadets who will swear an oath to protect the city of Harrisburg today, you will come across people every day who seek your demise. You always have days where you question your job, your purpose, and your decision to become a Harrisburg police officer. And then you have days where you realize why you answered the call. Harrisburg is full of some of the warmest, kindest, and yes, even realest souls you will meet. You will find family here, and the purpose you seek is the ability to wear the badge and make a difference in the city of Harrisburg. Look no further than the 40 men and women we are honoring today for their life-saving actions. We have true heroes in our midst. Our city is a little bit safer every day because when someone's life was in danger, you put yours in the way to save them. To that, you have my and the city of Harrisburg deepest and undying gratitude. In Harrisburg, our officers are held to a higher standard. Commissioner holds you to a higher standard. Your commanding officers exact more of you. And by wearing the badge in this city, you learn to expect more of yourselves. Lastly, to all of your families, thank you. Thank you for your sacrifice in giving us your sons, your daughters, husbands, and wives. Policing is not a job you can do on your own. It takes a village. Your sacrifice is a heavy burden, and we promise to you that we will not let them down. Thank you all, and congratulations.
Thank you, Mayor Williams. At this time, I'd like to request Commissioner of the Harrisburg Bureau of Police, Thomas Carter, to the podium for his remarks. Commissioner Carter.
Honorable Mayor Wanda Williams, D.C. Young, my captains, my officers, supervisors, and to the audience out there. I want to try to touch on the different groups of people out here. First of all, I want to say that it is an honor. It is an honor. I know that I sit at the head of the table, but it is my pleasure and my honor to be serving all of the officers of Harrisburg City, because without them, Harrisburg would not be what it is right now. What I have to do with it is that, I basically make policies and look at budgets and stuff like that, but to the men and women who are out there hustling and bustling every day, I take my hat off to you. I know that just by saying thank you, it seems so minute and so trivial, but I thank you, the mayor thanks you with the bottom of our heart. I would like to talk to the officers who are here, probation, and the state troopers, PSP. I am so thankful for the work that you put in and around Harrisburg City, because as everybody knows that if Harrisburg has a good day, the rest of the area has a good day. But since Harrisburg is the capital city, and if Harrisburg falls, then the rest of the area falls. Harrisburg has some crime, but crime travels, crime spreads out. And what we do here touches Susquehanna Township, Lower Paxton Township, Swadara Township, and also Stilton, because we're all so close. So I want to thank PSP for bringing out the chopper, the horses, their intervention units who are out there working with my guys. I want to thank the probation officers for being out there working with my guys, because without you, we would really be suffering. I want to talk to my officers, awarded officers today. I thank you for your dedication. I thank you for your undying wavering, your undying love for the city. To my commanders of each bureau, without you, Harrisburg would really be suffering. I would really be suffering, because I feel that I have the best leadership in the whole area. I would like to speak to the parents of the new officers who are being sworn in today. I believe that this is a first that we have had for, the 3 females and just 1 male being sworn in. I love it when we have female officers. They do an excellent job. They do a great job, and I'm proud of everybody sitting up here right now. And to the officers' families, friends, they will be good, they'll be safe, they'll be fine, because they will get the best training. Now, Harrisburg gets really good training. You know, there are other agencies coming here and they try to snatch our people up. I'm going to ask you right now, don't touch anybody sitting up here. And lastly, I just want to say that I was sort of messing with the new officers. I congratulated them. I said, "Are you scared? Are you scared?" And they all say, "Yeah." So I told them, I said, "Listen, you're fine right now. Once you say, 'I do,' that's when you get scared." Anyway, it's a good day in Harrisburg. I thank you all. And I pray that we have another good year. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carter. We will now present the awards for the incident that occurred in 2023. Mayor, I will call the honorees to join us on stage if you're ready. Our first award, would officer, if you're in the audience, would officer Seth Wiest, Brenda Kovach, Brian Strite, Eric Henry, Corey Massey, and Garrett Miller please come join us on stage for a Merit and Distinguished Unit Citation. So you will have to forgive us some of the officers' work last night. So obviously their sleep is a little bit, it's important to keep them going. All right, this is Officer Strite. All right, so this award, again, is a Merit Distinguished Unit Citation. On Sunday, 15 January 2023, officers responded to Swatara Street for a report of a domestic where the victim's vehicle was struck. In addition to the suspect fired multiple rounds at vehicles and fled the area. Additional calls came in from neighboring jurisdictions where also being reported. P.O. Wiest was able to determine all the events were related and proceeded accordingly. P.O. Kovach assisted with the crime scene at 5 different locations, collecting and documenting evidence for further prosecution. Additional officers assigned to the call worked together to bring numerous pieces of evidence and information into one case to aid in the charging of an armed and dangerous assailant who attempted to harm numerous family members. For their intelligent teamwork and efforts on this day, P.O. Wiest and Kovach will be recognized for an award of merit. P.O.s Miller, Henry, Massey, and Strite are recognized for a Distinguished Unit Citation. They're down here. All right, Award 2. This is a Distinguished Unit Citation. Officer or Detective Rosinski, Officer Geyer, Officer Chang, Officer Herbster, Officer Hall, Lieutenant Johnson, and Officer Scott. If you'd come, please join us on the stage. On Thursday, 25 May 2023, units were dispatched to a residence in the area of North Cameron Street for a burglary where the suspects were armed with knives. Upon arrival, officers confronted 3 suspects. Suspects began to fight with officers. The suspects' efforts to fight with police was met and failed. They were taken into custody. Contact was made with the victim, homeowner, who identified the suspects as the individuals who were trying to break into her home to fight. Their teamwork in the arrest of the suspects on this date following officers will be recognized for a distinguished unit citation. So we have with us right now is Officer Chang and Officer Hall. So the next one occurred on May 30th. This one here has quite a bit of people attached to it. This was an event that occurred down in Allison Hill. And I'm going to try my best because this involved a lot of outside jurisdictions that took to help us with this. This will be an award for valor, bravery, and distinguished units. And I'm going to read I'll read the list of officers that we have. If you want to come up, hopefully we've got enough room on the stage for you. So if we could get Dauphin County Probation Officer James Robbins, Dauphin County Probation Officer Cale Hoover, Sergeant Alex Wagner, P.O. Pat Walsh, P.O. Shane Barber, P.O. John Miller, P.O. Anthony Glass, Deputy Director A.J. Soma, Sergeant Ty Mike, Corporal Jacoby Harper, Officer Evan McKenna, Corporal Anthony, and I'm going to mutilate this name, I'm going to go try it, from PSP, Trooper Scott Markley from PSP, Trooper Justin Brown, Trooper David Taylor, Trooper Ramon Torres, Corporal Jeremy Christ, Officer Chris Palomero. Gentlemen, we probably got to make a couple lines here. APO Bruce Cutter, Corporal Jason Zoshag from PSP, Trooper Eric Cummings from PSP, Trooper Jonathan Cayley, PSP, Trooper Christian Ryan, PSP, Captain Thomas McGarity, Sergeant Raymond Lyda, Corporal Donnie Bender, Detective Chris Silvio, Officer Steph Barley, Officer Garrett Miller, Officer Todd Arnold, Officer Brent Rocap, Corporal Esteban Restrepo, Officer Elliot Chrisman, Officer Colin Ware, Officer Timothy Flynn, Caitlin Schaefer, State Parole Supervisor, Kara Smith, State Parole Agent, Adrian Stahl, State Parole Agent, Patrick Flowers, State Parole Agent, Brian Good, State Parole Agent, Clint Caprio, State Parole Agent, Tyler Gilbert, State Parole Agent, Marcelo Kogan, State Parole Agent, APO Timothy Boyd, Chief Robert Martin, Sergeant Scott Young from Lower Swatara. Officer Mark Hall. Detective Kent Platt, Swatara. Corporal Matthew Novicic. Lieutenant Robert Yost. Lieutenant Kyle Gouch. Corporal Teresa Covey. I'm sorry, that's Sergeant Teresa Covey. Detective Jason Brinker. Detective Mike Rudy. Officer Robert Flegel. Officer John Dahl. Officer Chad McGowan. Officer John Perkle. Officer Brooke Bolton. Officer Nathan Carr. Officer Wes Fadouk. Corporal Farida Kingsborough. Wendy Myers, State Parole Agent. William Johnson, State Parole Agent. Matthew McCann, State Parole Agent. Evan Bingham, State Parole Agent. Ray Walter, State Parole Agent. Adam Boncita, State Parole Agent. Yasmin Morano, State Parole Agent. JPO C. Michael Carter. APO Tyler Rolsham. Brian Tinner. Corporal Walt Cook, Lower Paxton. Officer Robert Bennett, Derry Township. Sergeant Brian Henry. Corporal Travis Banning. Officer Mick Snyder from Swatara. We're almost there. Officer Stephen Statz, Lower Paxton. Officer Sean Surgan, Derry Township. Officer Jamie Sittler, Susquehanna. Officer Matt Gallup. Officer Craig Legger, Susquehanna. Detective Richard Iacchini from County CID. Officer Justin Anderson, Swatara. Edgar Berkheimer, Hershey Medical Center. Detective Pete Fiore, County CID. Officer Jeff Corkin, Lower Paxton. Officer Andrew Corden, Derry Township. Officer Richard LeCadre, Swatara. Corporal Anthony Cummings. Officer Brendan Hoover. Corporal Lee Torasi, Susquehanna Township. Sergeant Autumn Loopy, Lower Paxton. Sergeant Keegan Winters, Middletown. Tom Wingert, Hershey Medical Center. Matthew Bailey, Hershey Medical Center. And APO Don Trovey. All right, so now let me read to you what they did. I was actually on this one. So on Thursday, 30 May 2023, officers working the anti-crime detail observed a masked, armed individual in the Hall Manor area. When they attempted to make contact with the individual, he pointed a weapon at them and then pulled the trigger. The weapon did not fire. The armed individual fled into an occupied residence. With the armed individual allowed some of the occupants to leave. So basically what he did was he went into this residence and it was a mother and several children. Through the course of this, he allowed the one child and a mother out. Based on that, again, he kept one of the children held hostage. Dauphin County Crisis Response Team was called to the scene as units from several agencies held the perimeter. Negotiations were attempted with armed individuals for hours with negative results. A group of DCCRT members made entry, neutralized the threat to the child, and rescued the child. As a result of their actions, the crowd became hostile towards those present to the point of one of them attacking a Pennsylvania State Trooper who was on scene. All agencies present worked together through the tense situation Order was restored, medical aid was provided to those injured during the events. For the award of bravery, in the recognition of their actions when confronted by an armed individual and dangerous adversary, the award of bravery is to Dauphin County Probation James Robbins and Dauphin County Probation Officer Cale Hoover. They got you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is what it takes for a village. Can you please join me and give them a standing ovation? Thank you.
All right, and then the second part of this, the award for valor for their actions, outstanding courage exhibited without regard for personal safety while in actual combat with armed and dangerous adversary. Citation of valor goes to Sergeant Alex Wagner, P.O. Pat Walsh, P.O. Shane Barber, P.O. John Miller, P.O. Anthony Glass, Deputy Director A.J. Soma. The rest are distinguished unit citations, but again, as the mayor stated, that was a very hectic day. It took a lot, and obviously we thank everybody for the assistance they gave us. There are times where we all got to work together. I think everybody on this stage will tell you that we're all in this for the same reason. This is a classic example of what that reason is. Let's give them another round of applause, please. If you were up on stage, if you want to come down and see Sergeant McNaughton down here to the right, he got the award for you. Good job. What's that?
Not every day I get demoted from.
Oh, yeah, well, sorry.
Thank you, sir.
We're going to give it a minute so they can collect their awards down there. All right, for Award 4, this is Award of Merit. Officer Cindy Kreiser, if she's out there. All right, so on Friday, 2 June 2023, units were dispatched to assist outside jurisdiction call. Officer Kreiser, sorry. Officer Kreiser responded to assist State Constable with an eviction, which turned violent. The subject of the eviction armed themselves with a machete and refused to leave the residence, at one point even holding the machete to her own neck. The subject refused to drop the machete. Officer Kreiser was familiar with the subject and realized she was experiencing some mental health episode. Officer Kreiser advised responding units to maintain their distance to minimize further escalation of the incident. After several moments of tense dialogue, Officer Kreiser was able to convince the woman to surrender the machete. The subject was then transported for mental health evaluations. For her recognition of the issues presented by the armed suspect while experiencing mental health episode, P.O. Kreiser is recognized with an award for merit for her efforts to de-escalate a dangerous situation. And actually, today is Officer Kreiser's birthday. Let's give her another round of applause for that. So did I. All right, award number 5. This is a life-saving. And a couple of these awards we got coming up here next are life-savings awards. This one here, if Officer Herbster, Cody Geyer, Jared Haar, and Sergeant Elliott, and then co-responder Jorge Colazo Gonzalez. On Thursday, 10 August 2023, units were dispatched to South 13th and Interstate 83 Overpass Bridge. Upon arrival, responding units found a male climbing over the fence onto the exterior portion of the commuters while commuters are traveling below. Officers were able to engage the male in dialogue and persuade him into listening to them as further help was summoned. Officers were able to hold onto the male through the fence and used cordage provided by a bystander to keep him in place until assets from the Harrisburg Bureau of Police were able to respond with a ladder truck. Through the combined efforts of officers involved, the male was safely removed from the bridge and taken to Harrisburg Hospital for treatment. For their efforts during this incident, officers and co-responder are recognized for life-saving awards. Award 6. This is another life-saving award. And we just give you the history of this. We just started the life-saving awards probably 3 or so years ago. And actually, every award ceremony, at least there's probably 2 or 3 people that are getting this award. So it's good stuff. On Monday, 11 September 2023, units were dispatched. Sorry, let me back up. Officer Chang, Officer Landis, Officer Christian Rebick, Officer Tanner, and Officer Taylor. Please come to the stage. On Monday, 11 September 2023, units were dispatched to a residence on North 15th Street for a report of a shooting. Upon arrival, officers located a gunshot victim. It should be noted there was a large amount of blood found outside and inside the residence. Responding officers applied a tourniquet to the victim, which had minimal effect. Officers then took turns applying pressure with a towel. The victim's clothing was cut away to permit other officers to pack the wounds prior to EMS arrival. Their efforts in the treatment of the shooting victim on this date, they were recognized for a life-saving award. Officer Skylar Gladfelty. All right, this is another life-saving award. On Thursday, 5 October 2023, units were dispatched to a residence on Evergreen Street for a report of someone bleeding on the floor who was not awake. Officer Glodfelty was one of the first to arrive and found the victim lying in a pool of his own blood on the floor. Officer Glodfelty applied a tourniquet to the victim's arms, which was bleeding profusely. EMS arrived on scene and transported the victim to Penn State Holy Spirit Medical Center. ER staff advised that had the tourniquet not been applied to the victim's arm, his injuries would have been fatal. For his quick thinking, response, and effort to care for the victim, P.O. Glodfelty is recognized for a life-saving event. And he's not here. He has a medical problem where he tore something in his shoulder. So I think he's in the process of getting that fixed. So, but yes. Award number 8, Officer Nathan Ishman, Officer John Dahl. On Wednesday, 22 October 2023, units were dispatched to the residence in Midtown for a report of a child in cardiac arrest. Officers arrived on scene and met with the child's grandmother, who was providing chest compressions. Officer Ishman found the child to be unresponsive and took over compressions, upon learning that a bed-bound patient was also present in the residence, officers became concerned the child may have ingested something. Narcan was provided to the child. Officers Dahl and Ishman transported the child to Harrisburg Hospital for treatment. While en route, an additional dose of Narcan was provided. The child was rushed into the ER for further treatment. After a few minutes of treatment, the child regained consciousness and began to cry and call out for family. For the quick thinking, decisive action, and teamwork, these officers are recognized for a life-saving award. So we partner with, for the tourniquet ones, we partner with Holy Spirit for the most part. They come over and teach us. They'll give us stop the bleed training and some other stuff. Tourniquets are the big thing. They do a tourniquet replacement for us. And here are a couple of the awards where the officers had to use tourniquets. Anybody who has any medical background knows we're not going to take those off. So they're kind enough to actually, when we use those, they give us. Sonny Goodyear, are you out there? All right, could you please stand? So this is one of this, Miss Goodyear is actually one of the main leaders over there that actually help us out with the training and then with tourniquets as well. If we can give her a big round of applause. Thank you. As you see, it pays off. All right, award number 9. This one's a bravery. Officer Hall, Officer Gray, Detective Rudy, Officer Palomero, Sergeant Novicic. The first time he come up here, I announced him as Corporal. He made sure I was aware of that when he got up here. Sergeant Matthew Novicic. Corporal Travis Banning. On Thursday, 2 November 2023, officers were on North 18th Street for a warrant service on a wanted person. As officers approached the residence, they were fired upon by a juvenile adjacent to the residence of the warrant, where the warrant was being served at. After being fired at by the juvenile, the officers took the armed juvenile as well. There was an adult in there as well that had fired. So they took the juvenile and the adult into custody. The juvenile was charged with 4 counts of criminal attempt homicide. No officers or anyone else was injured during the incident. Their teamwork, quick thinking, and actions on this date, the officers will be recognized for the award of bravery. Told you I corrected. Good job. Good job. Good job. I'll send you the invite next time. All right, our 10th and final award. Officer Chang, Officer Landis, Officer Fisher, and Corporal Restrepo. Please come to the stage. On Thursday, December 23, units were dispatched to North 3rd Street for several reports of a male shooting a firearm. Upon arrival, officers identified the suspect and noticed a distinct bulge in the suspect's clothing, indicative of a concealed weapon. The suspect fled from the officers as they attempted to identify him. While fleeing from the officers, the suspect reached into his pants and threw a pistol, which was later recovered by officers. The suspect was tased and taken into custody. Due to their quick, decisive actions while confronting an armed suspect, these officers are recognized for their award of bravery. Well, you got a pretty good year.
Yes, you did.
All right, let's have another round for the awards. Good job and congratulations. All right, our next and last awards presentation for 2023 Harrisburg Bureau of Police is the Officer of the Year. I would like to invite the nominees and the Officer of the Year to the stage to honor them and to recognize their accomplishments and thank them for their dedication to duty in 2023. So to give you a background on this, you have 3 platoons. Each platoon submits a person for Officer of the Year. You have somebody from CID or Criminal Investigation Division will submit a detective that will fall into that category. We have an awards committee which meets based on the write-ups that we receive from the division commanders, lieutenants, and supervision. The committee again meets, and then what they decide is based on the stats provided and the stuff that's in the write-ups is who gets the Officer of the Year. So the nominees for the 2023 Officer of the Year, if you please come to the stage: Detective Dennis Simmons, Officer Brian Strite, Officer Jeff Teeter, and then Officer Mitch Goshenauer. All right, we'll start with Officer Strite. So Officer Strite joined the, Brian, if you want to raise your hand there or somehow step out front so we can see you. All right. Officer Strite joined the Bureau in July of 2019. Officer Strite has been assigned to the Uniform Patrol Division since completion of field training. To his work performance, Officer Strite was tasked with becoming a field training officer. He's completed field training officer training in July of 2023 and has trained numerous new officers before and after certification. So basically, when you come in, we try to get you to school. Sometimes it doesn't work. We got to pick the next group of people to be those FTOs or those leaders while we train new officers. Sometimes, again, such as the case with Brian here and probably many others, is they get tossed into that role early. So you're almost like a supervisor of one person, if that helps you. But it's critical to what we do. Officer Strite is also a Crisis Intervention Team Officer, or CIT. He's a patrol rifle operator and a 303 less than lethal operator. In 2023, Officer Strite responded to 1,652 calls for service, made 39 arrests, and completed 299 reports. Officer Strite's personality and professionalism is a great asset to the Bureau of Police. He is a solid performer and a go-to officer when objectives need completed. For this, Officer Strite will receive a 2023 Distinguished Unit Citation for his nomination for Officer of the Year. So basically what we have, and we can, I'll show you here. So he gets a nice plaque, looks like the awards, and then we can, Brian, if you want to come on over. All right, next I have is Officer Jeffrey Teeter. Officer Jeff Teeter joined the Harrisburg Bureau of Police in 2020, January of 2020, with several years of service with the Dauphin County Sheriff's Office prior to arriving to us. Since then, Officer Teeter served with distinction on all 3 platoons within the Uniform Patrol Division. He applied himself and quickly earned positions as a field training officer, platoon forensics officer, taser instructor, crisis intervention officer, and a member of the Dauphin County Mobile Field Force. Officer Teeter continues to challenge himself by seeking new ways to serve the community and the Bureau. Officer Teeter continues to excel, delivering quality results on each task he is assigned. He maintains a positive attitude and an eagerness to serve. His ongoing and approachable demeanor are always appreciated and reciprocated by those around him. He has proven himself to be a valued member of the Bureau. Officer Teeter continues to demonstrate his desire to help others and provide selfless service to the city of Harrisburg and his fellow officers. Again, Officer Teeter, similar to what Officer Strite, he'll receive a 2023 Distinguished Unit Citation for his nomination for Officer of the Year. All right, the next one we'll recognize will be Officer Mitch Goshenauer. Officer Goshenauer was hired with the Bureau of Police on March 22nd, 2021. He has served several years police experience. He has several years of police experience in Charlotte, North Carolina, prior to coming to Harrisburg. In the 2.5 years with Harrisburg, he has become to fill in as a field training officer. So if you haven't seen the trend with most of these guys, they've taken that additional leadership role on as they go, and women. Officer Goshenauer strives to train officers to ensure that they are safe on the street. He has become a defensive tactics instructor, where he has assisted the Bureau in Bureau-wide training, as well as completing platoon-level roll call trainings. Officer Goshenauer has become a go-to officer at this time on 3rd Platoon for newer officers when they have questions. He is always willing to put forth the extra effort to complete a good investigation. Officer Goshenauer is always willing to help out and doesn't complain when given extra assignments. He is tactfully sound and brings deficiencies to the attentions of other officers while on the street. Officer Goshenauer also is one of our translators. He is not here today, he's injured, but yeah, Officer Goshenauer. Which leaves one. All right. So it's my pleasure to announce the 2023 Officer of the Year recipient, Detective Dennis Simmons. Just hang tight right there. Just hang tight right there. Let me read. Let me read what the lieutenant wrote about you. All right, Detective Simmons has been serving with the Harrisburg Bureau of Police since January of 2005. During this time with the Bureau, Detective Simmons has served on various units and divisions. Detective Simmons was originally assigned to Uniform Patrol from 2005 to 2008 as a patrol officer. In 2008, Detective Simmons was transferred from the Uniform Patrol Division to the Housing Unit, where he remained until 2013. In 2013, Detective Simmons was transferred from the Housing Unit and appointed a position of detective in the Criminal Investigation Division. Detective Simmons was assigned to the Vice and Organized Crime Unit in 2013, where he remains until this date. While assigned to Vice and Organized Crime, Detective Simmons has spearheaded several hundred narcotics investigations. Detective Simmons has also assisted fellow officers, detectives, and various other agencies in hundreds of additional narcotics-related investigations. Many of those investigations have resulted in guilty verdicts in both state and federal court. Detective Simmons' calm, approachable, and friendly demeanor is widely known throughout the Harrisburg Bureau of Police, as well as many outside agencies. Detective Simmons is commonly found interacting with all members of the Bureau and is quick to assist younger officers that have questions or concerns. During the year 2023, Detective Simmons and the Vice and Organized Crime Unit conducted 175 drug investigations. Those investigations led to 84 felony arrests and the seizure of 55 firearms. Detective Simmons alone seized 2 kilograms of powder and crack cocaine, and just one of many investigations he conducted. Detective Simmons, his cheerful and positive attitude continues to be a relief for his co-workers. He is a joy to supervise, according to Lieutenant Gouch and Captain Whelan. He's always willing to help in wherever mission needs accomplished. Detective Simmons' passion and commitment to the citizens of Harrisburg is steadfast and unwavering. Detective Simmons. So Detective Simmons gets a nice plaque with his face on it. He'll get one, and then we'll put one on the wall down there. He also gets this nice framed certificate for Officer of the Year. It's quite an accomplishment, so he's earned it. So we'll give you. Yep. No, you can have that one. All right, so let's give him a round of applause again. All right, gentlemen, thank you. Congratulations, Detective Simmons, for receiving the 2023 Harrisburg Bureau of Police Officer of the Year and all of our outstanding nominations for the top-notch performance and public service to the city of Harrisburg. Good job, gentlemen. All right. So now we have 4 people sitting on what would be stage right. They've been sitting there patiently waiting. So we're sort of kind of been glancing over at them, see if their eyes are still open. I told them they might fall asleep while they're sitting up here, but so. All right, I direct your attention to to the right of the stage. At this time, we have 4 future police officers sitting on the stage. They have been there patiently waiting, and now it's their turn. Let's give them a round of applause. The reason they deserve the applause is they're about to take a pledge to become a City of Harrisburg employee in the Bureau of Police. They have survived an arduous selection process that began in May of 2024. They sit before you now to be sworn in by the mayor of our great city and prepare to attend Harrisburg Area Community College Municipal Police Officer Academy, which basically begins next week. So next week at this time, it'll be like going back to college, and you'll be sitting in a classroom, and you get to see the commissioner several times a week. So getting hired is one step in the process of becoming a Harrisburg police officer. The police academy, in-house training, field training experience are all designed to prepare you to be educated, tactical, yet compassionate first responders, serving with some of the finest Americans that I'm proud to work with every day. Our community deserves the best employees to assist them with making the city of Harrisburg a great place to live, a great place to raise a family, and a great place to enjoy life. And I think that we have found the best people to do that. Congratulations on being selected to join the ranks. All right, at this time, I'm going to read their biographies. William Cartwright. William Cartwright was born and raised in Harrisburg. He is a husband and father of 2 children. William has spent the past 13 years as a truck driver and a mentor. He is looking forward to pursuing a career in law enforcement with the Harrisburg Bureau of Police. William Cartwright. Rebecca Chrisman. Rebecca Chrisman was born and raised in Inwood, West Virginia. She graduated from Musselman High School in 2021. After high school, she continued her education at Harrisburg University of Science and Technology, where she was able to graduate in 2.5 years with a bachelor's degree in integrative science and forensics investigation. During the summer of 2023, she completed an internship with Dauphin County Criminal Investigation Division, where she grew to love the city and decided to make Pennsylvania her home. Rebecca currently resides in Camp Hill with her boyfriend, Makai. All right, I told her I was going to mess that up. She enjoys tractor pulling, hunting, and finding new plants to add to her collection. Some of her support consists of her father, Brett, mother, Kara, stepfather, Wayne. She is also supported by her 3 siblings, Bradley, Benjamin, and Kaylin. Rebecca Chrisman. Yomi Garcia Lorenzo. Yomi Garcia Lorenzo was born and raised in Guatemala. In 2010, she moved to the United States with her family, where she attended Roland Middle School and learned English as a second language. In 2019, she graduated from Dauphin County Technical School, where she studied criminal justice, police science. She's also a member of the National Honor Society. She's employed with the city of Harrisburg as a parking enforcement officer right now. While she was employed as a parking enforcement officer, she became familiar with the city, its citizens, and the local community. Yomi Garcia Lorenzo. Gruline Gruwal. Gruline Gruwal was born in India. She was raised in Burlington, New Jersey, and moved to Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania in 2016. Gruline graduated from Cumberland Valley High School. Currently, she is finishing her studies at Penn State Harrisburg, soon to earn her bachelor's degree in criminal justice. During her college career, she was involved in student government, FBLA, and other student organizations. Some of Gruline's hobbies are dancing, hiking, reading, singing, knitting, and photography. Gruline is the oldest of her 3 siblings and a first-generation immigrant. Her family has been her backbone throughout her journey and will continue to support her for all that she does. Gruline Gruwal. All right, so if we have friends and family out there, sounds like we got some family members out there. All right, if you want to come up and take a couple photos of them as they sit right here, we're going to do, and then what we can do, we'll get into the swearing in, if anybody's interested.
I do solemnly swear that I will support, obey, and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution and laws of the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and the ordinance of the City of Harrisburg, and that I will discharge the duties of my office as a Harrisburg police officer with fidelity. Congratulations.
Good job. They waited there patiently. Let's give them another round of applause. All right, since our last ceremony, or since we've had one retirement, we'll now recognize the retirement from the Bureau since our last ceremony. One patrol officer is retired. That would be Officer Robert Flegel. He served with the Harrisburg Bureau of Police from May 15th, 2020 through May 31st, 2024. I don't think Officer Flegel's here. We contacted him earlier this week. He started a new job, which I think everybody looks forward to after they retire. So if you're fortunate enough not to start the new job, good for you. So, all right. So, again, Officer Flegel, we appreciate his commitment to the city of Harrisburg and the Bureau of Police for during his dedicated law enforcement career. Retired Officer Flegel has dedicated a large portion of his life, like many of us do, to protecting and serving the citizens of Harrisburg. We understand the hardships he has taken, accepted on himself and his family, the long hours, shift work, and danger that he has placed on himself to protect those that could not protect themselves. On behalf of the city of Harrisburg and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and the United States of America, we thank him for his sacrifice. We hope he enjoys his hard-earned retirement. So with Officer Flegel will receive a proclamation, which basically the proclamation says, whereas Robert M. Flegel began his career with the city of Harrisburg Bureau of Police May 15th, 2000. And whereas Robert M. Flegel attended the 77th class of the Harrisburg Community College Police Academy and graduated August of 2000. And whereas Officer Flegel was assigned to 3rd Platoon as a patrol officer for 7 years and served as a field training officer for 21 and a half years of his career, training over 100 police officers. During his time on 3rd Platoon, Officer Flegel also served as a first aid and CPR instructor through the Red Cross, ASP instructor, and pepper spray instructor. In 2007, Officer Flegel transferred to 1st Platoon, working primarily in District 7 and at Allison Hill Backup for 14 years, where he continued training new officers as an FTO while serving on the patrol rifle team for 10 years. In 2021, Patrol Officer Flegel transferred to 2nd Platoon, where he continued serving as an FTO and enjoyed many of his visits to schools in the city of Harrisburg, as well as the opportunity to engage the youth and the citizens of Harrisburg in an effort to build a lasting relationship. Officer Flegel's enthusiasm, solid work experience, and knowledge of the city of Harrisburg has driven him to profoundly mentor numerous officers during his 24-year career. Officer Flegel has retired May 31st, 2024 with 24 years of distinguished service, where he earned many awards and accomplishments for his outstanding performance, leaving behind a permanent mark on the city of Harrisburg Bureau of Police. So Officer Flegel, we'll make sure that he gets the proclamation, but he'll receive this. He'll get the proclamation that he can hang on his wall. So. All right, we will now retire the colors. I request headgear be removed at this time, and if you're able to stand, we invite you to join us with rendering the honors. Pastor Lathrop, would you join us for the benediction?
If we could pray together one more time. Dear Lord, thank you for all that serve Harrisburg and the surrounding areas faithfully and courageously. We ask your blessing on each officer and their families. Grant them peace and strength and encouragement. The Lord bless and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor. On behalf of the leadership of the City of Harrisburg, I'd like to thank you for attending the Bureau of Police Officer of the Year ceremony, award ceremony, and swearing-in ceremony. I'd like to thank the Whitaker staff for their exceptional hospitality and support, the Harrisburg Police Honor Guard, and the Technical Services Division staff for the organization coordinating and supporting the ceremony. We couldn't have done this without Jen, and Mandy. If we could give them a round of applause, they escaped. They left before I called their name. That's what happens when they write the script. Congratulations to our awardees, our retiree, and our 4 new police officers. We appreciate you attending. Safe travels to your next destination. Please join us for some light refreshments at the FOP Union Hall located at 114 Walnut Street, first floor. This concludes the ceremony, and have a good day.